I am very excited to be here to talk about a big success for Minneapolis and for the Minneapolis Police Department. Each of the patrol officers who respond to 911 calls is now wearing a body-worn camera. At the end of October, the Minneapolis Police Department completed the implementation of officer-worn body cameras in each of the city's 5 police precincts. This completes the rollout of the body cameras, which began in July. These are challenging times across the country for police departments and the communities that they serve, particularly communities of color. While not the only tool, body cams are an important tool for improving police-community relationships. Body cameras can provide a tangible path toward transforming the relationship between police and community for the better.
We know that this is critical when it comes to transparency. It's another set of eyes. It's also important in accountability, both for the officers but also for people they come into contact with. I want to give you some numbers. We have assigned 548 cameras at this point. The 548 officers that are assigned to those cameras have all been trained during the last 5 months. There have been more than 90 training sessions, almost 1,100 hours of officer training. The officers are absolutely using their cameras because we have 55,000 videos which have been recorded and retained. The average video length is 7 minutes in length, and there's more than 6,500 hours of video that has been recorded.
I have been a police officer for a long time, so when these cameras rolled out, it was a little bit of a new experience for me. I was a little reluctant, like many officers who've been here for any long amount of time. I did, however, become very comfortable with it because of the utilization of it is really easy. To use it, it's simple, and we can use it on a variety of different calls. Its real function for me thus far in utilizing it has been the gathering and retention of evidence. Sometimes we get some very high-stress calls you go to, we respond, we ask questions. Sometimes you miss an answer, sometimes you miss a detail. The great thing about these is we can go back and actually review that and see what details we missed. And then that way we can include it in our report, and it may be very beneficial to prosecution or towards someone's innocence. So it can work a couple different ways. It's also just an extension as far as showing how professional our officers can be when we're responding to these calls for service. I think it really enhances and shows the professionalism of the officers of the city of Minneapolis.
You know, people who live on the north side want better community relations. They want increased transparency from their police department, and body cameras help officers to do that. Since the cameras were introduced in the 4th precinct this past summer, residents and police have told me that this is the most important step we've taken in this direction, and so just very pleased by this.
We're seeing in our office already with the rollout of the cameras is not only the contributions that the others have talked about in terms of accountability and transparency for our police department, but it's also providing us with helpful evidence so that we can prosecute particularly domestic violence cases more effectively, assault cases, and we're assuming also DWI cases. We, in fact, have already had our first domestic violence jury trial where we will able to present body cam video. So we're able to show the jury the victim in real time as officers responded to the call, describing her injuries and describing what happened. A victim may, for example, just when the officer is there writing down notes so that he can write a report later, before body cams, the victim may say, and then he did this, and then he did that. Well, now we've got video where the victims can demonstrate, and in this case did demonstrate what happened to her.